furniture, appliances, mattress. Fam.news.
It's the end of an era. The Galaxy's Greatest Mattress podcast is wrapping up. What's going on and what is next? The Exodus episode of the Dos Marcos Show begins right now.
We get the best reactions from our customers on the Englander products.
Katie and I compare a lot of notes when we're helping people in the store. And when we bring them over to the beds, they just lay down on it and they're like, that's it.
They don't want to try anything else.
Katie and Greg Law, Sweet Dreams Mattress and Furniture.
We've gotten just some of the best feedback from some of the Englander beds. We love them because we know our customers are really happy and sleeping well.
Learn more and get started today at englander.com.
Welcome to the Dos Marcos Show with Mark Kinsley and Mark Quinn. The Galaxy's Greatest Mattress podcast has liftoff in 3, 2, 1.
It's true. First and foremost, we want to thank everyone. This is Kinsley, believe it or not, our 500th episode, my friend. It has been a long run, but the reality is that we are moving opposite directions, or moving forward, I suppose. Maybe not opposite directions, but I sold my interest in the fam to you. And the Dos Marcos podcast is going away. But the good news is the fam is not going away. We'll talk more about that later. But, it was important to us that we wanted to do a show and kind of explain and take everyone through where we're at and kind of why we are where we are. And kind of explain what this has meant to us, what this audience has meant to us, what doing the show has meant to us, maybe even what we got out of it personally. I think there's some great stuff to review there. But as we've talked many times, the fam is never going to sit still. You're either growing or fading away. And we want the fam to keep growing. And you've got great ideas about where it wants to go. And you want to speed that up. And I know whatever my next job opportunity is going to be, I need to be focused on that. And for me, it's empty nest, man. Nick is graduating this year. He's going to be running track for Kansas, so University of Kansas. So Bridget and I will be chasing his ass all over the country, going to track meets. And after long talks with Bridget, we just want that margin of time like that. People always ask me, I'm sure they ask you too, but it's like, how do you guys do all the stuff that you do? And the answer to the question is it's not easy. It requires a lot of time. And after the Mat Firm thing for me and all the time that required, and it's just a lot, man. So we're going to downshift. I'm going to reclaim some of my after hours time and just focus on that stuff. And so it's perfect. And you're going to speed the fam up and take it great places and do better things. So talk about that. Like, where's your head and how you feeling?
Well, it definitely feels like, like I said at the very beginning of the show, like the end of an era. We've been cranking on this podcast for 500 episodes. And the whole intent from the very beginning was to serve the mattress industry, help people connect the mattress and sleep products to the benefits of better sleep, to elevate our category, to make people inspired and want to be a part of this industry. And I think that we've really gave that a full court press, and we'll continue to. And I think that's the spirit of the fam is continuing to build community around that idea and creating a chorus of voices that are saying, hey, this is about better sleep. This is something that can change people's lives. And we as a category have an opportunity to do that for consumers whenever they come into the mattress market once every 8 to 10 years. And I've said it before, but if you have a chance to speak to a family member about something important, but you only get to do it once every 10 years, how critical is that conversation? So I think we're in such a special place in the industry. And, the fam has really grown into this community, and, everything through Dream Camp, and the communities that have formed there, it's going to be a lot of the same and a little bit different. I think, as we move forward, the the Dos Marcos show has been like the backbone of the body of the fam. And it's going to be weird for a while.
Yeah, there's no doubt. But that's the cool thing is, Mark, like if you really rewind, it started out with Dos Marcos being the greatest mattress podcast in the galaxy, and easy to say because there were no others. And ever since then, we've started producing 3 other shows. And I just love that, just that one aspect of what the fam has become, because it's not about you and I. It never has been. I guess it is. I mean, the fam is about you and I. The Dos Marcos podcast, to your point, was the foundational piece to that. But I think we've tried to make it about the industry, not about you and I, right? And maybe our perspective about the industry. But, other people felt inspired to want to do their own podcast. And we're like, hell yeah, bring it. And we wanted them to be on that platform. We encouraged it. We helped them spin those shows up, because the more conversation around this industry, the better the industry gets. I mean, people want information. They want to learn. They want to grow. They want to hear from the top people in the category. And I think that's kind of what we've been able to do. And, as I was out on a walk this morning, preparing mentally for this show, I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to ask you this question too, but like, what has been the biggest impact on me from being and doing this show? And I'd say one of the biggest is just what I've learned. What I've learned from the people we've had on the show. My goodness. I mean, we've had some incredible people on this show. And just what I've learned from them, what I've learned from people responding to us on social media, what I've learned being at live events and having people come up and tell us that they started companies because of a show that we did, or they expanded into more stores because of a show that we did, or Keith Moneymaker wanting to put a tattoo of us on his arm. I mean, whatever we're learning or whatever people are coming back to us with, how much it's inspired me and how much I've learned. And so I'm just so profoundly grateful for that add to my life. Like, where's your head when you think about, the impact and what it's meant to you? Like, what comes to mind?
That absolutely captures the number one joy, is the ability to reach out to anybody and everybody, people that I think are inspiring, I think are smart, interesting, and have a moment with them. Have time with them to listen and have a conversation and learn about their life. And many times, begin a great friendship. I think one of the first, deep moments I had with Harry Roberts was the 2-part episode that we got to do with him, which then led him to promising a tequila shot to us if we ever came to Houston, which led to us dressed up in white uniforms with gold chains and taking a tequila shot with the founder of Mattress Firm. I mean, and that all started because of the podcast. And that's just one story of many where the relationship began because we had this platform that was designed to serve an industry that allowed us to talk to people and make friends and then serve the industry along the way. And I think that's been the common thread. And then, like you said, when we go out to different shows, whether it's a betting conference or an ISPA conference or a Vegas market, and have people come up to us and mention something specific that they took from the show and they applied it in their business or their life, those moments had the biggest impact on me. I remember a guy at a nationwide show come up to us and said he read our book. And from the book, he redesigned his community engagement because that was congruent with who he was. And he told us this very elaborate story about getting the fire department involved and a bunch of kids, involved and through the fire department, and how that had a significant impact on his community. And I thought, how many stories like this are out there that we never hear? So those are the moments that filled my bucket up.
One that filled mine up recently, Mark, was at Market. And it literally almost took us off our feet. We were so shocked by the news. And I will not share names because of the sensitivity of that, but someone telling us that one of our biggest fans, and we know this to be true because every market we would get pictures with this person and all of his people, and they would come in, and he ended things. He committed suicide, but for them to come back in and tell us the impact we had on that person and how much he enjoyed, listening to the show, and they felt really compelled to come by and share that with us because of the part we played in his professional life and the inspiration he got from the stuff that we did. Like, you can't, what's the value of that? Just us knowing that. And the gift that he gave us in the relationship and the friendship, and just to know that we had any kind of impact on someone like that. Anyway, so the audience here, if you're listening to this, all the conversations that you've had with us at markets or wherever we are, the text messages or anything in social media, like Mark and I will never be able to express fully the impact of those. So just so grateful for you, all of you that have taken time to come and share kindness with us, or a sentiment, or criticize a show that we did or a comment we made. That's cool too. We just love the feedback. But that part of it has been an incredible piece to the puzzle for sure.
Yeah, it's all about the people in the community. And what I love about it is, we put the Dos Marcos show under the umbrella of the fam because we realized this is bigger than a couple of guys that are kicking around ideas on a podcast. We realized that there was a real hunger for movement and momentum and new energy to be injected into this category. And so we created this community, and we called it the fam for a reason, because we feel like the industry is one big family, and this would be a gathering place and a watering hole. And in doing that, it really did open up the community to become what it needed to become. And I always said back in the past, when you have a community, you got 3 F's: finding, focusing, and fostering. You're always finding new members because your tribe's out there and they may just not know about you yet. You're focusing on the members of the community that you have to let them know that they're important, they're loved, they're part of something. And then fostering, this is the one that I think has become really important and special for me. You're fostering engagement among your community so that you're not the ones who are always driving those interactions. If you got a group of friends and there are 10 friends and one person is always organizing everything, then is it really a group of friends, or is it somebody that is the spur? And so that's what's happened to the fam that I think is meaningful and momentous, is people are connecting through the vehicle of the fam without us being the spurs. And that's the sign of true change. And that's a sign of real relationships.
Yeah, those are great points. I like the 3 F's. And I think too, maybe evidence of that, Mark, is the other podcasts that have come up. Other people like Matt Mann and, Mike Magnuson and guys like that, and Jeff Cassidy, that want to be part of what we're doing and wanted to have a voice and talk about the industry and champion that in their own way and see it grow and evolve. And like, that stuff is so exciting to me that, those types of things happened as an offshoot of kind of what we were building. But, I think that's the thing too. I hope people listening to this show, we're still engaged and we're still all in for this category and the way we look at it and our hope for it, which is to see it grow and get better and see this industry look at itself more in the health and wellness space than anything else. And that's always been a purpose, and to serve it. And I think independently we'll still be there, to do that. And we still want the best for the category. And, as you're listening to this, you've listened to us drone on many episodes about sometimes a lot of the same thing, in the focus being, that part, which is, let's make this category more important to human beings, making it about their sleep and health and well-being instead of just the products that we sell. And I think you and I are going to still be banging the hell out of that drum for a long time to come, because we're still a far cry and a good distance away from realizing that potential. So if you're listening to this and you haven't yet taken action and really done the hard work of trying to figure that piece out for your company, I hope you do. I know Mark does too, because there's value in that. There's gold in that, not just for your business, not just for your bottom line, but for people in general.
Yeah, for human beings.
Yep.
And I love it whenever people have actually tapped into that mission and bought into it. Guys like James Perez, James made a decision. His business was going to be about sleep and health and wellness. And it has taken him a number of years to create that cultural shift and to let that message sink in and be something that they can execute on. But boy, he is lit up. He is lit up with the possibilities, not only the possibilities, the reality of what that means to people when they come in to shop for a mattress now. So I love it whenever people take action. We wrote in our book, action reveals answers. And, taking action is a big piece of that. And hey, I do want to say something. This is definitely the bookend for the Dos Marcos show. But I am going to do a reboot, okay? Because I think it's important to continue surfacing people that are having an impact. And so we talked ahead of time. I wasn't sure if I was going to announce this, but I think it is important to announce it. So after a bit of a break, I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and we're going to reboot the show under the FAM umbrella, and I'm going to host it. And it's going to be called Sleep Summit Show, Peak Performance for Mattress and Sleep Professionals. And so Sleep Summit Show is, a summit is a gathering of minds. It's a collection, it's a group, it's a get-together. And so Sleep Summit Show is going to feature people from the industry, very similar to what we've been doing with the Dos Marcos show, and focusing in on that idea of peak performance. Because I think over the years, what we ended up getting into, Quinn, is bringing people onto the show like Jesse Cole or Christina Dyer, who are peak performers that helped us think about our category in a new way. So I like, having the latitude to do that while also focusing it on mattress and sleep professionals, because I think there's an opportunity also for us to bring in people from the broader sleep economy who can help make our category about the mission and the purpose.
Makes sense. And, Sleep Summit is a big umbrella, so you can put a lot under that.
That's right. So that'll be, like I said, we need a little bit of time to do a reboot and kick that off. But if you're listening, you might be getting a phone call. And if you have something to say, I do want to hear from you.
Yeah, but there's so much potential with the FAM still, like so many great places it can grow. And, the industry needs, every industry, every person in every company needs a champion if you're going to push into a new market or launch a new product, and I think you and I kind of looked at the FAM that way, especially in the last Dream Camp we did here in Northwest Arkansas in Bentonville. When we brought that group of people together and, people said hell yes to show up, and they came in town and they knew that our objective for that particular Dream Camp was to get people to rally around the idea that the industry has more work to do to reach its potential, and then get everyone challenged to think about how they could do that in their own company. That kind of effort, that kind of focus, that kind of, consistent drumbeat. You and I talk a lot about, you have to be consistent over time with whatever you're doing. And so that's still necessary. And it's, the FAM could go on every day for the next 10 years and probably still not have made the impact that it needed to make, because there's so much to do. And, the good thing is there's momentum and tipping points, right? And so I think that you and I can say over the last 500 episodes, which for the record, I never wanted to do to begin with. So here we are 500 episodes later, and I'm so grateful I said yes to that. But, 500 episodes later, I feel like we kind of figured out that our role in some small way was to be that champion and to be that voice. And so, it's still necessary, and everyone needs to take it up on their own, in their own way. And, if everyone's kind of leaning into it, then the potential is massive.
The potential is massive. And, just looking back on this wild journey, it was pretty cool that, we did 100 episodes before we ever did it weekly. I don't think a lot of people realize that. So on our 100th episode, so 400 episodes ago is when we started doing it every week. And I will say that's when things really changed, and we kind of kicked it into high gear. And, that's what led to the creation of the fam. And that's what led to, us writing the book, which was so much fun. And I think has had a great impact. And as I look back though, I've got my memories, but as you are listening to this or watching this, share your memories, share some of your favorite memories about the Dos Marcos show, or maybe it was a live event, or maybe it was a speech, or maybe it's something from the book that you took away during your personal moments. Maybe it was a commute. Maybe you were running on the treadmill and something caught your attention and you applied it. If you've been one of those people that is sitting on the sidelines and watching the game, but really having fun watching the game, now's the time to step out of the shadows and say what's been on your heart, because it would mean the world to us if we could hear anything that comes to your mind or is on your heart to share.
Yeah, definitely. But that would be great if people would do that. And I guess one other thing before we wrap it up, I think that's important for me is that everyone know that this has been a huge blessing in my life. And I think it has with you as well.
Yeah.
And I think just like what I got, I feel selfish because you do stuff and we do the fam, and there was strategy in it for us. And, there's a business reason for it. But at the end of the day, it was about serving the industry. It always was. And when you do something like that, what it gives back to you and has given me so much. And so I'm so glad that we made the effort, over the last 500 episodes to plan shows and to get people on the show and to drive it with the purpose that we did. I'm better for it. I'm so grateful. My family is so grateful for it. And we're very happy. This is an important step in my life. It is exactly where I need to be. It is 100% the direction I need to be going. It's exactly the same for you. So that stuff is very positive, and we still want the best for everyone listening to this. So I guess that's it. It's a very positive things. It sucks that we won't be doing the Dos Marcos podcast anymore, but I'll still put crap into social media, I'm sure, and
I'm just gonna put some crap into social media. Don't worry about it.
Really pointless drivel. Yeah, no. Or I'll just comment on your new Sleep Summit podcast shows with counterpoints, and I'll be the challenging voice. I'll start a new podcast with someone else, just taking issue with everything Sleep Summit is.
That's a great. There's a whole category that I wasn't aware of until recently called so and so reacts. So, it's in TikTok, they do that, you react to something. So maybe you could just do a show where Quinn reacts to Kinsley's BS thought about blah, blah, blah.
We always talked about doing that with Magnus and Cassidy and just attacking some of their episodes. I think we probably failed in doing that. We should have done that. And we could have just turned it into that with them and just had this big fight.
Well, it was, it is the Galaxy's second greatest mattress podcast. But I have to say, though, in their defense and in defense of what you just described, us reacting to it, it is a very distant second.
Well, we'll let that live on, and they can't. I guess they have a microphone still, and we don't. So you're going to have one. So if they come back over the top, you'll have to take them on the Sleep Summit show. But
well, come on, guys, bring it on, boys. Well, hey, to everybody that's been our support system, our fans, our loved ones, our family, members of the fam, members of the industry, people that have been on the show, we are beyond grateful for you and thankful for all this time, like you said, Quinn, that we got to be a part of your lives, and we got to hopefully bring you something that was fun or entertaining or valuable or insightful. And we're infinitely grateful.
Yeah. And I love what you said, Mark, encouraging them to leave a comment. This is our last time to ask. So leave a comment, share your thoughts, give us a review. No, we'd love to hear that. So if there was a show that ever meant something to you, or a comment that was made that, has settled with you, or just anything, positive, negative, we don't care. Bring it. We'd love to hear from you guys. But yeah, that's going to do it, man. That's going to wrap it for us. And what a great time to end, and 500 episodes, and a show that we weren't sure was ever going to make it past the 101st show, but it did. And man, what a great ride. So thank you for that.
I feel like we should end it this way. So 2 fingers up. Instead of peace out, we're going to say dose out. You ready? On. Let's do it on dose, not on 3. Ready?
Okay.
Uno,
dose,
dose out.
Can we do that again? Uno,
hold on, we should try one more time.
And then does it go uno, dose, and then dose out?
Yeah, let's do it that way. Ready?
All right, you ready? Uno, dose,
dose out.
Dose out.
Nailed it, as usual.
Oh, God, that is a perfect illustration of the show. Anyway, that is it. It's been awesome. So everyone, thanks for listening. Leave some comments. We'd love to hear from you. And whenever we see you at events, please come up. We'd love to hear your stories and stay connected.
You can bounce on it. Yeah.